Hello guys, good morning. Welcome to Start with Kings. I just want to make this quick video before the market opens. We have about the next 1 hour 15 minutes for the stock market to open. I just want to make this quick video in case you're looking to make money today, or you're looking to get yourself prepared for next week. And I made a previous from my previous video. I told you guys the areas that I was expecting within the stock market this week, and some of those few key areas the market actually play towards those key zone. But I'll be paying more attention based on where the market wants to close today. And once we get into the chart, I'll show you guys what I'm expecting and the key levels that I'm expecting the market to stay above. But if we fail to hold that level, then I believe we have more rooms for us to sell towards the downside. But with all that being said, if you're new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscription button and the notification bell. And why I'm making this video, I'm making this video to help you prepare yourself, ahead of next week, because next week we have a lot of report coming out. We have a CPI report, we have a PPI report, and we have a retail sale report coming out. At the same time, we have a company that will definitely report their Q2 earnings, which they'll definitely let investors actually knows like the revenues of how they, like how these companies are operating. And some of these companies are major banks and technology companies, consumer companies, and industrials. And and some of those tech companies, investors, they really want to pay attention to how much some of these companies are spending in terms of AI, and how much profit they are actually making, and their forward guidance, which will actually help investors, to make good decisions. And outside that, we have Fed paying attention to everything, and based on some of this report, it's going to affect the market in, either in a positive way or in a negative way. But if we end up selling off next week, then that's going to be a good opportunity for a buy zone, for a good play for the next few months ahead of us. But with all that being said, let me jump into the chart because I don't want to make this video a long video. Anyway, right now you're looking at S&P 500 right now, and what I'll be expecting, we need to stay above 752 on the S&P 500 today. So what I'll be expecting a full body candle to stay above the 752 price range. But if we end up, if we fail to stay above 752, then I believe we have more possibility, like more rooms for us to sell towards the downside, which I believe any price below 750, then I believe we have more rooms for us to sell all the way to about 740, 47, 45 price range, and which will be a bearish sign, because at that point we've gotten a rejection. So that means any price range below like this and we end up selling, then we have possibility for the market to actually sell off coming into next week. And some of this report, if they end up coming out good, especially the CPI report and the core CPI report, so if this report comes out very well, then the market is going to be bullish. But if it comes out very harder than what the market is expecting, then there's going to be a lot of sell off in the market, just like early this week. But anyway, what I'll be expecting us to stay above 752 dollars price range on S&P 500, and if we can stay above there, maybe close around 755 price range, then coming into next week, I believe we have possibility for us to come down again to retest this 752, which will become our support zone. Currently right now, this is our level of resistance, which we need to stay above. But if we end up staying above, then we have more room for us to push back to retest the all-time high, and possibility of us pushing all the way to $765 price range on S&P 500. And as you guys can see, all what the market is doing is creating higher highs and higher lows right here. You see that this low is lower than, sorry, this high is higher than this high, and this high is higher than this high. So but what I'll be expecting, since this is our recent high, we need to stay above stay above 752 on let's say 500. But if we fail to, then this is what I'll be expecting. Let's say the market end up pushing a little bit up, then we end up not being able to stay above this 752 price range. So any price range that we end up selling above 750, and if we close anywhere around 745, then I believe next week we have more possibility for us to come down to retest 743, and possibility for us to retest 730, 39, 740 price range. But sometimes the market, based on those news that are coming out next week, the market could actually play all the way down here, sweep, just to grab all this liquidity, then push all the way back up, then head towards this direction. But like I said, when I'm doing my technicals, I like to see the market from every area. I'm not just here to just look at the market from one direction. I try to see the market from different corners, so that whatever area the market wants to play out, then I know how to follow up the market. But what I'll be expecting, if we end up selling off based on those news, then this is what I'll be expecting. I'll be expecting some sell-off. But if we end up having some good report, or if the market end up staying above this 752 price range, then I believe we have more rooms for us to move towards the upside, which this is the price range that you need to pay attention to. You need to pay attention to $752 on S&P 500. If we can stay above this price range, then I believe we have more possibility, more rooms for the market to be bullish coming into next week. And if we have any good news, then the market could actually go crazy to break this level of resistance, which happens to be our all-time high around $760. And I believe if we break that level, then we have more possibility, more rooms for us to push towards $760 to $770 by next week, or a week after next week. Then another play that I want you guys to pay attention is gold, and this is what I'm expecting on gold right now. As you guys can see, we are currently we've been down for a very long time on gold. And as you guys can see, this level right here are all liquidity zone. This is where a lot of institutions are more interested in getting into some of this play. When gold was selling off, all this, you see all these crazy long candlesticks, all these are all institutional sales. These are not retail sellers. These are real institutions. Retails, you can actually see how small the candles are, but when you see all these big giant candlesticks, those are institutions. Those are like hedge funds, banks, selling off and causing the market to actually go into correction. But what I'm trying to say is, looking into coming into a few weeks ahead of us right now on gold, for us to be actually bullish on gold, we need to actually stay above this level right here. Let me take this out. This was what I was using to teach some of my friends. But anyway, this is what I'm looking into right now. We need to stay above this level of resistance around $4,224 on gold, and which I'll be expecting us to actually push up. And me personally, I'm not gonna advise you to get into any buys right now. You can actually buy now, then set your stop loss somewhere around here. But if the market end up breaking this resistance, it's still not a good time for you to actually get in, because sometimes the market could come up here, sweep all that liquidity, then push the price all the way down. So what I'll be expecting us to come down, to come back to retest this level of resistance, what would turn out to be a level of support, and that would be around 4,224 to around $4,196 price range. And I believe we have more possibility right here to bounce off this zone. And my next target would be around 4,384 to 4,005 something to 600 price range. And if we end up having a good momentum, a good buy is coming into the play, like institutions, then I believe we have more room for us to actually come to retest this resistance right here, which will be around 4,774, dollars, and possibility we could even go up more than 4,800, because these are very play that has a lot of volatility. So when they move very crazily. So you need to be very careful and make sure you're using your stop loss, so that way the market plays are against you, then your stop loss is going to prevent you from losing. So this is what I'll be expecting for gold. But for the opposite play out would be if we end up coming up here, because sometimes the market will come up here, sweep this liquidity. If we can't break this level, then if we end up losing this level of support, which will be around 4,172 price range, then we have more rooms for us to sell down. But if we break this zone, then any rejection from here, then I believe the market could come back to retest this 3,900, 3,800 price range before if the market decide to push the price back up or not, or if not, then we have possibility to sell towards the downside. So what I'll be expecting would be for the market to break out, which would be my indication. Then what I'll be expecting to get into a buy somewhere around this zone, because you cannot get around, you don't want to get into this zone. You can actually get into a quick into a short play by shorting the market from right here. You can actually get into a sell order here, then take a profit somewhere around here. Why? Because right here the market has possibility to actually bounce up and reverse and start moving towards the upside. So that one is on gold. Then another play that I would love you guys to pay attention, which I've been talking about for a very long time. If you go to my channel, go and look some of those videos that I made, then you definitely know I've been talking about this stuff for a very long time. And this is CRN. That's Salesforce. A lot of people, like, this stock has been down and nobody's actually paying attention to it. So sometimes these are the kind of opportunity that you really have to pay attention to. But this was like almost I think this stock was almost close to about $400 stocks. So believe me or not, when the market reverses back, you don't want to miss out of some of this play. Like I said, these are the kind of play that you don't actually want to miss out. But I don't want to take off all of this stuff, because this is how I do my technicals, because it helps me to understand a lot of things, what I'm expecting within the market. But what I'm trying to say is, what I'm looking at right now on this, we need to actually, for us to be bullish, we need to stay above this level of resistance, which will be around $172 on CRM, which is Salesforce. But if we end up not being able to break this level, then I believe we have more room for us to actually sell towards the downside. And what I'm trying to say, we need to stay above this level. But if we fail to stay above this level, then we have possibility, if we end up selling, like breaking this level of resistance, what I'll be expecting would be a bounce either back around this $172 price range, or we can possibly come down to 169 to 165 price range before pushing the price to chase this liquidity, because definitely the market is more interested to come up here to grab all this liquidity right here, all the liquidity within this zone. And possibility that we might go into some sideways, like side movement for some time. Possibilities are there, but at the same time, these are all not guaranteed, because sometimes the market will just show you direction, then some news comes in and mess the whole play up. So it's always good for you to make use of your stop loss in case the market goes against you. But outside that, I don't really have much to actually show you guys. My previous video, I showed you guys what I was getting into and what I was expecting on S&P 500. which so far this week the market actually play well. So what I'll be expecting is this $752 price range on S&P 500, and based on this level, then I'll know how next week is going to play out, because that's going to help me prepare myself for next week. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys before the market open in the next day, the next 1 hour from now. So if you're looking to make money, I would advise you wait to see how the market, the first 15 minutes candle to 30 minutes, just see how the market is going to react. If we can stay above $752 price range, sorry about that, then we have more rooms for us to push all the way to $755, and possibility we could even retest $756 or $767 price. And I just want us to stay above the 752 as of today. So if the market close above 752, then we have more room for us to go in, move towards the upside. But if we end up if we fail to stay above this 752, then like I said, we have more rooms towards the downside. Anyway, this is all I have for you guys today, and I just want to wish you guys a good weekend. And based on how the market plays out, I'll make a video tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then I'll make a video on Sunday, when the forex market opens. So I just want to thank you guys for watching my video, and once again, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.